How are you guys? Tony the GM with another quarterback video. I'm in search for an elite level quarterback, guys. Now, you don't look at highlight films to find a quarterback. You look at every play a quarterback makes, and you separate every play a quarterback makes. Interceptions, touchdowns, running plays, deep throw, everything, okay? You separate it and you take a look at it. Touchdowns. How many touchdowns did the quarterback actually make? Okay, the first two, I believe any quarterback could have made. I mean, wide open, I'm making that throw, guys. Okay, this is why you don't look at statistics, okay, when drafting a quarterback. You need to look how many of the throws, how many plays did the quarterback actually become a big part of it. Now, the NFL constantly misses on quarterbacks. I'm showing you Sellers from scratch. I did a lot of work on Sellers. Tool set wise, I mean, we're going to find out as we watch. Tool set wise, the kid is second best in the 26th draft behind Taylor Green. Now, I want you to look at this play again, guys. You're looking for a heads-up quarterback. Okay, this kid has great body control. Look at this running play, okay? When you look at a quarterback, as I said, you need to look at every bit of every play. That right there is a quick thinking, heads up, physically gifted quarterback. You could already check the box, okay? Does he have the physical skill set to play in the NFL? As I said already, he is the second most gifted of the previous draft. He's going to be one of the top 10 physically gifted of the past 10 years. Probably, okay? 6'3", the height is fine. Here we go, guys, okay? Now, you can't fall in love with this. This is another issue that the NFL has, okay? Dual threat, they fall in love with the dual threat quarterback. You could build around a dual threat quarterback, but how many of them have really made it? You need to look at the passing ability. Now, there's clear things that you look at when it comes to the actual passing ability. Okay? Does the throw match the play? And does he have timing throws on film? It's a very big one. Does he the decision making on the throw, guys? Okay? Is he late? Is he early? Is he one read? How does he process after his second read and second view? Is the kid running with his head up? There's a lot of things to look at, guys. Now, automatically, the kid checks a lot of boxes when it comes to the physical trait part. Okay? Was he late on this throw? No, that throw matched the play, guys. It did match the play. Okay? Which is a positive. A little earlier, a little later, he might have an issue, but he got that there at the exact speed that he needed to get the ball there. If you guys don't think what I just said is a high level issue when it comes to drafting a quarterback, that's the perfect throw for that play. Very nice throw for that play, guys. A little too hard, a little too, a little too late, a little too early, and there is an issue catching that football on that particular play. One back shoulder throw with touch. You need to look at the timing and touch, guys. Now, this is one back shoulder throw with touch. Is it consistent with his film? That's what you need to look at, guys. I mean, he could have ran the same play 20 times and this is the only completion. That's why you don't use highlight films. Okay? Let's keep on looking. We're going to look at a complete game also. Now, you can't make decisions on a quarterback unless you look at the complete entirety, everything that he's ever done on a football field. You also need to look at the level of development, guys. The NFL misses at a record rate because they lack the discipline to develop a quarterback who needs development. It's a money league now, guys. You can't have a quarterback sit for 2 years, year and a half, and develop. Okay, Mike White is the only one who sat for that long and showed glimpses, but he didn't have the athletic ability. Okay, this throw match to play again, guys. You can't, financially, you can't have a kid sit for 2 years on a 4-year contract with an option. You can't. You can't hit, a second, third round quarterback can't sit for 2-3 years because then you're going to have to pay him based on 1 year's worth of productivity. It doesn't work that way. It's important that, most of the teams that are competing need a valid backup quarterback. They can't have a quarterback sitting there just for developmental reasons as a backup quarterback. Is the kid physically gifted? Yes, without a doubt. Sellers, right off the bat, checks a lot of things. He seems very disciplined. He definitely takes care of his body, for sure. Okay? He's a superb athlete, which is positive. Now, here's the thing I have with a lot of dual threat quarterbacks and development. It hides that throw match to play again, guys. That's a positive. Okay, development of a dual threat quarterback who has this type of skill set. I hate to break it to you guys. Most high school coaches are just going to hand this kid the ball and have him do whatever he wants because they know he's physically better than everybody else. Are they taking the time to develop him, or is he getting the proper coaching and background? Does he have a good quarterback coach? Do they invest their money in the kid? There's a lot that goes into this, guys. I mean, if you don't realize that quarterbacks are a different level of development, you'll never get the position right. Absolutely not. Do I think, right off the bat, Sellers has the tools. Now we're looking at highlights, guys. This isn't where you find your quarterback. If he completed 67% of his passes, you want to look at the 33% that he didn't complete. Anybody could sit here and find a play to break down and say, he made the great read, he did this right, he did that right. That's not finding an NFL quarterback, guys. The information that you get when you're looking for a quarterback is absolutely worth absolutely nothing in the majority of cases. People are paid to hype these quarterbacks. The NFL hypes these quarterbacks. You need to find it on every play. Nice seam throw. Okay, the throw match to play perfectly, guys. Okay, now, two things that we got. You can't find it on just a highlight film, and this is the most highlight film you could get. It's all touchdown producing. Now, human nature says, "Ooh, wow, he could do it for my team," and you fall in love. That was the perfect throw for the play, guys. That's another positive. Now, what do you look at? What does a quarterback do? They throw a football. Okay? How they throw a football is on talent. This is why the NFL misses. You see why you don't use stats, guys? How many of these plays does he have on film? Okay? Where he throws a short pass and they take it to the house. You got to look at yak. You can't use stats, guys. You got to look at deeper, statistics, more advanced statistics maybe. The only one I would even remotely look at is depth of target versus time to throw. Okay? I mean, if you have a kid throwing, and you have to look at it in terms of development. If a kid starts out at a 7-yard depth of target and his next year is a 9 and his next year is a 12, you need to look at the level of development of the quarterback, guys. This is why the NFL constantly misses. Okay, he's on time on these throws, obviously. They're touchdowns. Has he gone to second progressions yet? I haven't seen that. Does the throw match the play? A little bit, but obviously these are touchdowns. A lot of that's going to happen automatically because you're looking at highlights. That was another nice throw for the play, guys. But that's not where you have to look at the missed throws. How much is the team helping him? This is why you don't use statistics, guys. How many times you see a YouTuber, okay, they ask him about a quarterback in the comment section. Oh, especially live chats. Oh, what do you think about Lanorris Sellers? And they'll tell you, oh, he had 9,000 yards and 42 touchdowns. But they don't realize that he's dumping the ball off to this guy, okay? What exactly did Lanorris do to produce this touchdown? The level of understanding, and then you have all these people force-feeding their opinions, okay, which adds to popularity of certain quarterbacks, and that's where you get your NFL busts, guys, consistently. Now, then you go to the NFL, oh, but the experts say, yeah, okay, guys, okay. The NFL misses because they are looking for players to match their offensive coordinator's skill set. Okay? There is a handful of coaches in the NFL that help a quarterback immensely. Peyton in Denver, the 49ers, okay, are helping their quarterbacks. You could interchange like 100 different quarterbacks on the 49ers, and a lot of them are going to do the same thing. That's not a knock on Purdy, guys, okay? But the coaching, the support, it helps their quarterback, okay? When I say I'm looking for an elite level quarterback, I want the entire skill set. There's very few quarterbacks, I'd say, are first round talents. Very, very, very few. That I personally would draft in the first round. This is my 5th year of evaluating quarterbacks, and I'm drafting 6 quarterbacks maybe, and I'm taking 3, 4 after the second round as developmental projects. Obviously my success rate is much higher than everybody else's because I didn't pick most of the busts, right? I wouldn't even waste a pick, and none of them basically made it except 1 and 2 who's still playing in the NFL. Again, this throw matches the play. You can't see it on highlight films. Okay, you cannot see a quarterback's skill set. You can see his athletic ability, Another perfect throw to the play, guys. That's something you clearly have to watch. Could you game plan him a lot of lucks? Does he have the arm talent to make every throw? That's what you need to look at. Is he hitting the entire route tree? Is he throwing with anticipation? Is he running with his head up? You know, what percentage of the touchdowns are actually his? You know, another wide open play, but the throw did match the play. Okay, now we're going to continue with actually more highlights. In stride throw, that's nice. You don't find it on the highlight films, guys. You don't. Okay. First read, wide open. He did deliver the ball on time. That's a positive, though. Another touch throw in stride deep. The ball matched the play. That's a positive also, guys. Okay. I mean, that's 2 in stride 40 plus, right? That's a very nice NFL throw, guys. Okay, now as I said, you can't judge a quarterback off a highlight film. But we caught 3 vertical plane throws at different points on the field in perfect stride. That's a positive, okay? Number 4, he threw him open. He threw it to the left. That's also a positive. Could have had a little bit more on it, obviously. A little bit short again, but no, that's nice. He threw him to the left. He's open to touchdown. You could live with that for sure. Number 6. Okay, he waited on it a little. You know what? You got to nitpick everything. I'll be honest with you guys. Right off the bat, and this is why the NFL constantly misses on quarterbacks, guys. Simpson went number 13 in the draft. Number 7. Simpson went, this is 25, guys. This is number 7. Simpson went number 13 in the draft. Athletically, he's 20% of this kid. See these 7 throws so far on film in 1 year? Is 6 more than Simpson has. Simpson missed every vertical plane throw. Now, what are you looking at? Okay, athletically, the kid's incredible. The arm strength is there. The ability to take off the top of the defense, obviously, you just saw it quite a bit. Is he being supported? There's a lot of yak on his film, guys. You know, that's very important. Okay, guys, I'll be honest now. When I say I look for elite level quarterbacks, okay, this is only highlights. You don't know if he attempted these throws 100 times and hit 7 of them. He threw them open. You can't find them in highlights. But what I can tell you for sure, arm strength is there. Athletic ability is definitely there. That's a nice throw, guys. Okay. What's going to do this kid in is processing. you can't see on highlight films, right? Because everything's a positive play. You got to get rid of the human nature aspect when evaluating the quarterback. What happens is you see a play by a certain quarterback, and automatically you think that he could do it for your team. Okay? There's so much more than that than evaluating the quarterback. When evaluating the quarterback, that's why the NFL misses. You can't fall in love with the toolbox. You can't fall in love with a particular player's throw. You need to look at the consistencies. You need to look for reasons not to draft a quarterback. Okay? Now, obviously, there's nothing you could say negative about this kid's athletic ability or his ability to hit the deep ball in stride, which is a big plus for the quarterback. Okay? His complete passing game, I mean, you're not going to see the entire route tree on a highlight film, guys. What you did see, though, is at least 7 deep throws to different parts of the field. Right sideline, left sideline, left hash, right hash, center, post, corner, vertical. I mean, we've seen basically everything. Again, clear-cut reason, if you pay attention, why you do not use statistics to evaluate a quarterback. Okay? And I'm tired of missing it. You go to any YouTuber, team YouTuber has live chats, they'll ask them about a quarterback, and the first thing they'll do, that they haven't watched an ounce of this quarterback other than a highlight film, is bring up his statistics, his touchdowns, his win-loss record. Absolutely useless when evaluating a college quarterback. I mean, think about it. If he threw for 2,000 yards, he just had 70 yards of yak on one play. Okay, so how many yards did he really throw for? It's 1930 yards now. Okay, he has a lot of yak on his thing, on his film. And I consider that a negative when drafting a quarterback, by the way, when it comes to use of statistics. Look at depth of target. Look at completion percentage by zone, the deeper zones. On the move, a continuation touchdown. Yeah, this kid might. Okay, guys. Lanorris Sellers. Now we're going to the 24 highlights. We're going to do all his highlights to start. I showed you all his touchdowns already, so you might see some here. A continuation play, wide open, okay, but he did run with his eyes open, which is positive. We saw a lot of this already, guys, so be patient. We want to look at everything a quarterback does. You don't find it on his highlight films. We're just looking for some type of special throws. Okay, middle of the field, lay a throw. It hasn't been consistent on any of the plays we've seen so far. We're looking at what's draftable and what's not. So far, we came up to the conclusion that he definitely has a high-end NFL toolbox, and he has no issue. Another continuation play, he bought a little space. We came to the conclusion that he has absolutely no issue with hitting the deep ball. Okay. Does the throw match the play? A lot of throws. I mean, his deep balls had 1 or 2 that weren't perfect, but you can't take that away from him. You have to go with timing with the receivers also. Athletically, he is a righty, rolling out left a couple of times. We already talked about that play. This is why you don't use highlight films. You fall in love with a particular player too, and you automatically have it imprinted in your mind that he's an NFL quarterback. That's not where you find the quarterbacks, guys. You find it on the negative plays. Okay, you find it on the big time throws and the negative throw. And now, when I mean big time throws, I don't mean the PFF statistic, which is absolutely useless. Okay, tight window throws with big time ball placement. It's absolute bullshit. Okay, because the bigger arm quarterbacks don't need to, strength wise, don't need to play in that level of tight windows. Okay, they get the ball there earlier. He threw him open a little bit to the right, which was good. Okay, so for an example, if you have a quarterback who could throw a ball 60 miles an hour compared to one that throws it 53, there's less tight windows, guys. The 53 a mile an hour thrower is causing more tight windows. So the statistic is basically useless. As I said, depth of target with time to throw. This is a big time play, guys. Okay. Toughness, yes, the kid has toughness. Okay. Athletic ability, definitely. Toolbox, definitely. Arm strength, definitely. There's a lot of serious first-time checks. Is he draftable? Without a doubt. Is it level of support? Does his throw match the play? It's only highlights, so obviously the percentage of throws matching the play much higher on positive plays, so we can't say that yet. Is this a deeper lock? Is he a possible first-round pick? Most definitely. You can't jump the gun when looking at a quarterback. Is he being helped? Most without a doubt, guys. Okay, without a doubt. The amount of yak that we're seeing on his film is huge. Now, when you're looking at making a game plan for your quarterback, this quarterback, you need to both respect his running ability and his deep ball, which is a lethal issue for defenses. Again, with the yak, guys. I mean, what did this guy throw for 40 yards on the year and the rest of it's yak? I mean, there's a lot of yak on his thing. This is why you do not use statistics. Another continuation play after it breaks down, keeping his eyes open. There's a lot of positives with this quarterback, guys. Does the throw match the play? Obviously, it does more on a highlight film. Okay, that's not where you find your quarterback. We're going to take a deeper look now, okay? I was out a little bit, human nature-wise, okay? Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody, okay? I tend to wander once in a while, just like every other human. You're allowed to change your opinions, okay? You learn more things about the game as you go along. I made a 130-point evaluation system for a quarterback. A lot of it's being checked off as we speak, guys. Okay, there you go, another yak. I mean, he's definitely not getting a lot of points when it comes to support, okay? Yeah, he's definitely not getting a lot of points for support, okay? That's another nice vertical plane throw. That's a clear-cut place to look for a quarterback too, guys. You need to see that on film. I mean, go look at Zach Wilson, Ty Simpson's film, guys. It's not available. Everything's directly in front of the quarterback when they do complete a pass down the field. Shows that they lack depth. Okay, they lack throw processing. This kid seems to have some type of throw processing. That's another nice throw. The throw matched the play. You need to look at the level of the coaching and development on This is unheard of, the amount of yak with this kid. Okay? You need to look at what level, what point in the development there is on the quarterback. See how he threw that harder? A stationary receiver. There's differences on every throw. Now you need to look at how much coaching he had at a younger age. Is there room for growth? Showed a little bit of pocket maneuverability. He's a definitely, yes, we need to go further evaluating this quarterback. Okay, and I am very tough in evaluating quarterbacks, guys. Can he make every throw in a route tree? There's a lot that actually goes into that, guys. You need to be worried about his running ability. Think about being an offensive coordinator. Okay, guys. Again, this kid he's gonna probably hit 15 vertical throws in 2 years. You know, which is nice, considering a vertical plane throws. Okay, which is something you need to have on film, guys. And there's different type of highlight films also. They'll give you a highlight film of every completed pass of a quarterback. Okay? And call it a highlight. You know, what's really a highlight? You know, 90% of throws on a highlight film are useless anyway. Yeah, this kid lives on a vertical plane. We haven't seen much anticipation, which you need in the pros. We haven't seen a lot of timing throws, you know, outs, short vertical timing, like fade throws. We haven't seen a fade touchdown either, guys, you know, which is a little bit concerning. Why you don't use statistics when evaluating a quarterback. You know, we need to look at his entire film. We haven't seen the majority of the route tree, except vertical and short. Nothing really intermediate, which is a lot of where you find your quarterback. You know, the only thing we came to the conclusion, he has the athletic ability and he could take the top off of the defense. He has the arm strength. There's a lot of checks in his boxes, guys. A lot. If you have any questions about his athletic ability, they answer them right there. You keep on looking on Lanorris Sellers, definitely. Now, everybody, you look at statistics. I mean, this is why the NFL. Did he have a great 2025? Okay, did they fall off? Win loss? That's all match to play. You got to remember, it is a lot of it has to do with support changing, guys. It does. I mean, 2024, Drew Aller was one of the highest rated quarterbacks I ever evaluated. 2025 played with a horrible supporting cast, got hurt, and the kid fell to the third round, which is a joke. Okay, is this the same thing that happened to Sellers this year? They started out as a high-end NFL pick, top 5 pick, top 10 pick, and now someone just came out with a 20% of Drew Aller clone as a top 4 pick in a draft, 27 draft. Never even talked about, okay? It's comical how these evaluators evaluate quarterbacks. I mean, they came out with a kid that completed 25% of his 20 plus air yard throws, okay, in 1 year, and like 35% of his 10 to 20 yard throws. And they are saying he's the 4th pick in the draft. What a comedy error. What a I mean, it's incredible how they hype quarterbacks. And the thing is automatically people are going to come in and say, wow, he's draftable, he's great. The hype jobs on these quarterbacks is immense, is totally incredible. Okay? Is does uh, does this kid deserve a look? I'm not seeing a lot of second progression throws. I'm not, okay, I'm seeing a lot of first progression throws. Clean throwing lane when he does make certain throws too. There's a lot of extension plays. There's a little bit of pocket maneuverability. He just stood in the pocket. Under pressure, another vertical throw, a little bit underthrown, could have been a touchdown. You know, you really have to nitpick when you're looking at a quarterback. Throw match to play again. Okay, second progression. Came off quick. He got rid of it quick too. It's a check down. Not really a lot of that on film though.